Let's look at the timeline of the Muslim conquest. So first, let's start with the Muslim invasion of Levant. Historically, Arab tribes lived in the harsh Arabian Peninsula and engaged in business with the neighboring regions, with the Levant as well. Their activities were largely limited to commerce, and they did not play any political role in Levant till the 7th century AD. That changed after the rise of Islam in the Arabian Peninsula. Soon, the Byzantine army and the army of the Rashidun Caliphate met in the banks of River Yarmouk in AD 636. One of the most consequential battles in history took place on that river bank. Byzantines lost the battle, and with that, they effectively evacuated from the region, leaving it open for Muslim invasion. As Emperor Heraclius was leaving, he encouraged the people to evacuate by accompanying him to safety beyond the Taurus Mountains. He said, "Save yourself, Syria." It was a somber call to the inhabitants of the region, persuading them to save themselves from death or enslavement at the hands of the Arab invaders. In short, the defeat of Byzantine army at the Battle of Yarmouk paved the way for Arab-Muslim conquest of Levant, including the capture of Jerusalem. Now, during the early Islamic rule, they went on to build or convert two most iconic buildings of the Temple Mount, the Dome of the Rock Shrine and the Al-Aqsa Mosque. Some believe that both buildings were expanded on existing Byzantine-era structures. Others argue that they were built anew by Muslims. Now let's look at the Dome of the Rock Shrine. Some historians point out at the beginning of the Umayyad conquest, the Church of Saint Sophia stood at the site of the Dome of the Rock. But when Caliph Abdul Malik rose to leadership, he sought to demonstrate the ascendancy of Islam over Christianity in Jerusalem. He ordered the construction of the Dome of the Rock to compete with the Church of Holy Sepulchre on the opposite hill, and completed it in AD 691. This is what an early source says. He, Caliph Abdul Malik, built the Dome of the Rock on the site of Christian church, which he destroyed. Others contest such a view and say that the octagonal structure of the Dome of the Rock was merely inspired by the Byzantine architecture, particularly from a similar Byzantine-era building, the Church of the Seat of Mary. Its ruins can be seen on the road between Jerusalem to Bethlehem even today. The gold layering on the Dome of the Rock was not part of the original construction. It was added when Jordan occupied the West Bank and Temple Mount around the early 1960s. Second, the Al-Aqsa Mosque. The design of the Al-Aqsa building is that of a standard Byzantine basilica. As we noted early, beneath the Al-Aqsa Mosque, Byzantine-era mosaics were found, which shows that this could have been a converted Byzantine structure. Historians do believe that portions of the Al-Aqsa Mosque may have been adopted from pre-existing structures, possibly Byzantine churches or other Roman-era buildings. However, most believe that the Al-Aqsa Mosque as it stands today was built in the early Islamic period, and its construction was often associated with Umayyad Caliph Abdul Malik and his son Al-Walid I. The exact date of the construction of the Al-Aqsa Mosque is debated among historians and generally believed to have been completed in the late 7th century or early 8th century, around AD 715. So, except the Crusader period, Muslims retained control over the Temple Mount for most part of history since AD 637. It changed hands from Muslim rulers, from Egyptian Ayyubids to Egyptian Mamluks, and then to Ottoman Turks. The Ottoman Sultan Suleiman brought Jerusalem under his rule in 1517 after the defeat of Mamluks. So Jerusalem remained in Ottoman hands till its eventual fall in 922 after the First World War. Then the region came under the British rule and the status quo was maintained, and Muslims continued to retain control over the Temple Mount.